Hey gang, welcome back to Farstead. So, got another night of development, and now we have combat. Colonists have armed cannons. The forest is coming alive. Let's do brutal. So, the mechanic is on the first night on brutal, or the second night on, lesser difficulties or further nights, a different number of these mushroom guys will spawn out of this forest. So I was just kind of sitting here staring at it, and the thought just popped into my head, like, wouldn't it be kind of cool if this forest just came alive? And the cool part is that there's a limited number of them. So, like, night one, there's 3. Night 2, there's 6. Night after night after night, they kind of increase. So the threat increases as you're getting more colonists and building up your defenses. The meteor turrets, I don't think will fire on them, but I'm going to make some kind of like static defenses, maybe some like little walls or something to kind of funnel them down. And this is just kind of the first creature of many, but this is also an important step if we want to do multiplayer and kind of combat system. So right now you can't select the colonists in any way and like make them do a particular combat action or anything like that. Right now it's just very basic. So the mushrooms are going to spawn. They're going to come in. They're going to run at the colony hub, and the colonists will defend themselves. So let's go ahead and fast forward as we get through this. They'll only spawn when the solar energy is at 0, and then when the dawn rises, any mushrooms still left unkilled or wandering around will just kind of die with the sunlight. Yeah, so kind of got to get through the first day of meteors crashing all over the place. No real more biome updates. I spent pretty much this entire last session just working out this combat system and putting in the new models for both the colonists. Actually, let me get a kind of colonist here. I'll zoom in on him. Although he's not going to really hold still for us, but he'll do a little drive-by. So now they have arm cannons, and they look a little more like kind of, Space Marine style. Let me just pause it real quick. So yeah, they they have this little arm cannon, which is also, I think, probably going to do a little particle effect on that for like when they're actually like repairing or interacting or building. It's kind of like a universal utility energy weapon / build tool thing. And then, of course, these are just the initial colonists. They have a pretty low threat value individually, but you get enough of them together, they're pretty dangerous. And then we'll build in maybe like specialized units, barracks, the ability to build, vehicles or, other things. The vehicles could build things like buggies so that they can just kind of get around and do exploration tasks and, gathering resources or things like that. And then we'll add things like, light armored vehicles or heavy vehicles or hover drones or, I don't know. I mean, really whatever we want. But the first step was to first step is to just get like basic combat working. So now that night is falling, the solar radiation is reducing. We are gonna get to nighttime, and that's when things get scary. All right, so let's do that real quick. And I'm gonna pause it, and then let's see if we can. Actually, I think this one's a little bit more reliable. Let's catch the animation. So this is kind of fun. So I decided that they should just kind of replace the tree. So they'll glow. Come on. Oh, yep. They all spawned over there. It is random, so they can spawn in any forest. But it looks like all 3 of them wanted to spawn over here. So yeah. Anyway, we'll catch them maybe the next night. But these are the Mushroom Lords. They are angered by the presence of the filthy humans on their land. And they're coming for vengeance. So, yeah, basically the animation... Sorry, we missed it there. I'll try to catch another one. Is these kind of just turn green, and then these guys just kind of rise up from the ground with a little, like, rise-up animation. And, right now the hapless colonists are unaware that their territory is being invaded by mushroom lords coming to cleanse their land of the filthy humans. But as soon as they do become aware, which is basically just a proximity thing, but I'll add some like, sound effects and like, warning, proximity alert kind of thing. That'll be fun. they become aware, and then they're going to rush out of here, form a fire line, and then start taking on the enemy. So, kind of, you know, balance initially is actually pretty good. Like, I can't tell you who's going to win this fight. I can tell you probably going to lose a colonist or two. Oh, there they go. So they're going to run over there, they're going to get a firing line, and then they're going to start firing. Still working on the exact timing for kind of the animation versus when they shoot. Right now it's, yeah, it's just wrong. It's kind of a hard thing to balance out. Basically injecting into the animation loop and making sure it synchronizes with the actual weapon firing. So, yep, they got one. Oh, but we lost the colonist. We're down to 4. So really, 5 is pretty much necessary to take these things down in any short amount of time, but we're probably going to lose this guy. Fred. Oh, Fred. You were good, Fred. You were the best, but you weren't deadly enough. Oh man, they might lose this fight. Yep. Oh man, they're gonna lose it. Oh, you got it, Bill. Oh no, Bill died. Yeah, Mushroom Lords 1, Colonists 0. So at this point, I think what would happen is they'll just start beating on the building. Right now, of course, he's just gonna walk the middle of that. There's no, like, you know, combat against the building itself. So let's go back and we'll do another one. We'll just speed run our way through that, and hopefully I can catch the animation this time, and maybe the colonists win this time. It actually does make a pretty big difference if they all come, like, from one area and they're just one after another versus, like, them being able to catch them a little bit. So even on brutal difficulty, actually, you know what I'll do is we do have some random events that allow me to get extra pops. So let's keep our eyes out for that. We'll just get energy and food, but there will be a random event that'll give me more pops. So we'll get some more soldiers eventually here, and that should increase our odds. But that's kind of the idea. The whole mechanic is, like, if you just have basic colonists, maybe you survive. So you've got to get some static emplacements, or you know, if you're not playing on brutal, you might have a chance to grow your pops through either these events or through the spaceport and start importing them. And then we'll definitely get in, like, actual unit commands so you can select them and get them ready, because, you know, you play the game more than once, you're going to know that this is a thing. And so you'd be able to kind of command them and muster your forces and be ready for the mushrooms to spawn, but you won't actually know where they're coming from. And I'll probably add more of these mushroom groves, like, kind of all over the place, and that way they'll always be a little bit random. Ah, here we go. They'll always be a little bit random. So we got 5 more pops, we got 10 pops. That should be more than enough to take on the mushrooms when they get here. I am going to adjust the meteor behavior, not only add that diffusion thing I was talking about last night, because it's just kind of falling in a square. It's a little obvious. They do fall in the distance. There goes the sun. Pops out of existence. Got to fix that. So kind of diffusing these and then making it a little bit more... Alright, let's zoom in here and see if we can see them. Yeah, just making the meteors a little less, like, intense and, like, super focused. Yeah, there they are. Rise, Mushroom Lords. So, they do a little kind of floaty thing. It's a little silly, but anyway, it does work. That kind of stuff is just kind of polished and easy. I tend to not focus too much on that, because I'll just be chasing that forever, and then eventually I'll decide that, like, oh, I don't even want Mushroom Lords, or, you know, whatever it is. So, like, for me, like, this initial, like, you know, this is day 4 of this game even existing. It's really about, like, playing with the ideas and getting them into the game and then seeing if I like it. And so far, oh man, that's an interesting bug. So the game persisted the night count, even though I quit and came back in. So that's a statefulness, like, save load problem. But, oh, you know, no, I'm wrong. I forgot. I did specify that it is based on pop. So they come in a ratio on night 1 of 2 to 1. So there'll be 5 Mushroom Lords because we have 10 pop. That's right. I forgot about it. I forgot I specifically added that mechanic to balance this specific situation out. Well, I don't know if they're going to win, gang, but there's a lot of them, and they should be able to, especially with that many of them taking them on. Yeah, that guy's going to get shredded. Go run, Mushroom Lord. Slay the filthy humans. Yeah, he didn't make it. But they might actually get split here. And yeah, that's interesting. But I love this. This is so fun. This is just so fun. You know, you got actual, like, combat in the game. They're, like, staggered firing now, and all of them are kind of bunched up and shooting, and, you know, the enemy's coming at us. Bah, bah. And he dies. It disappears. Gotta work on that. I also don't really love... I like that they're glowing green, but I want to be... Like, it's just kind of a uniform thing right now. I want, like, maybe little mushrooms to glow and, like, way more dynamic. But again, you know, these are the little details that you could spend, you know, days and days and days trying to hunt down how to do that correctly and do it correctly, and then only to, like, change the model, and all that work was for nothing. So, like, the most important thing for me is just to kind of, like, get to a playable multiplayer game that does have polish issues, but we can fix those. You know, I can maybe find some people that want to help me fix some of that stuff, you know, and join in on the game dev. I don't know. You know, we're gonna find out. But for now, I just wanted to get combat and, you know, fighting with giant mushrooms. I mean, that come out of the forest at night. That's so fun. I love that. The other thing I got to work on is their engagement. So there's combat going over here, and maybe this doesn't matter when you actually have the ability to control them, but, like, they're not, like, running to the combat. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Greg. Kowalski. What? Sorry, I get you guys mixed up. You all look the same. He almost got whacked in the face pretty hard. Anyway, yeah, so combat's in the game. We got new kind of Space Marine-esque looking colonists, and we got combat. So, pretty cool stuff. Pretty happy with that. Did have to work pretty tirelessly on this one. Mostly just a lot of the combat math and, like, how much damage should one person do? How often should they fire? How do I get them to walk over here without totally looking like they're moonwalking? When do they come? How often do they come? What are the ratios? And then, of course, like, coding all that in, doing the model generation, and kind of getting it all together. But, yeah, I think it turned out well. It's a nice bit of progress towards kind of a more in-depth combat system. And then, of course, like, the whole base building, you know, aspect is all still here. So, you know, theoretically, when those things had come and attacked, you know, you would have already perhaps built up, you know, some base, and we're, you know, trying to ramp our econs so we can defend ourselves from the meteors before they pound us into dust. And, you know, still a lot of polish and balance on that too, but you know, all the rest of the game is pretty much the same. Still got some floating issues, and again, you know, game is still very playable. These are just, I mean, effectively cosmetic. Like, yeah, I don't like that either, but again, not gonna spend 5 hours at the moment fixing that, only to strip this model out entirely, which I'm definitely gonna do. I really, these are better than the first ones, but kind of not good enough, even for, you know, basic models. So, anyway, that's another night of development here at Overnight Games, and that's Farstead. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. Give me a like and subscribe if you think I earned it, and thanks for coming along, and we'll see you next time.